Hello again, shield chasing rangers. I wanted to talk today about total protection, and this mission is actually pretty simple, unless of course you are a ranger, which is this common story. The way this mission works is there's 3 shield screens, and the shield screens are covering a bunch of nests, and there's actually one queen nest in the back that will keep spawning bosses, and up to 3 total. So what we tried to do on this one was we tried to do a 5,000 armor with 2 rangers and an inferno, and it proved to be pretty difficult. But this is how we did it. First, let's talk about the equipment. For ranger, like I said, this mission is really rough for him. So as far as what to take, if you're helping out a team, it's probably best that you would be sniping in the back and let someone else take out the shield screens for you. So it's not a bad idea just to have your best snipers on this. So I personally would probably take 2 Lysanders, or if you wanted to help out the team, you could always take a stringer and a health bomb, so that if the person up front that's taking out the shield screens needs some help, you can always shoot some health at them. But yeah, like I said, he's pretty rough on this one. Wing Diver is probably the strongest, or probably Fencer, of course, is the strongest on this one. For her, what I usually would take is a rapier, of course, very strong, and then take something for wasps, so you could always take a laser or idun or something like that. But as far as for Fencer, he's probably, or Air Raider, let's do Air Raider next. With Air Raider, this also could be pretty good if you have someone taking out the shields. You can always take some satellite blaster for the hulls, or you could always take, of course, a strafe plan to help out with the person up front, because you can throw these and kind of push the enemies away from the hulls, so that the person up front with the shields can actually kill them, because the enemies will chase the strafe plan. There's a lot of options as far as air raids for him, but you're definitely going to want to have the shield screens taken out. And as far as vehicles, you can always take a Nagling as well, which can help out with the enemies. Of course, you have to be careful with missiles up front. If someone is with Fencer and they're trying to fight, missiles can be pretty difficult for them because it can knock them down on their back. But you can always take, of course, a railgun to snipe the holes as well. Or Walking Fortress could work, but there is spiders, so spiders can rip up the Walking Fortress pretty quickly. So it can be pretty dangerous. Helicopter can be good as well. Also, if you need someone to be up front, he can actually be up front if you take a tank. And it is a small map, though. That's the problem with trying to run around with the tank and throw and to dodge the to kind of take the enemies away from the area. So that might be a little bit difficult, but it is possible. And then, of course, Fencer is very good, which it depends on how much health you have, but I mean, you can take 2 hammers. It'd be very difficult on the hardest, but it would definitely be doable. You could take 2 hammers to be up front and to kill the shield screens, and to just distract the enemies while the person in the back is sniping the holes for the team. So usually what I take would probably be 2 hammers if it's doable with your health, and then of course something for a range. So you can always take a spine driver, catapult, or just, you know, all the various different options of movement, as far as like blast hole and catapult. I like the spine driver for the wasps if you're low health, to actually to be fast enough to be able to attack. You also can actually use a blade. A blade will actually shoot through the shield screen if you do need to do that way. You can attack the holes through the shield screen with the blades, and the axes also go through, but they're not as good distance. But that is a possibility, although it does take a long time to charge up the blade to actually hit for 6,000. But just a thought. But yeah, there's various different options for each. Like I said, this mission is actually relatively simple. There's a usually the way that I like to do this is, if you're taking a wing diver, then and you have a teammate that can snipe for you, or air raider that can, you know, do air raids, is you could just take the wing diver and fly straight up in the air, or go off to the side and just dodge or avoid the enemies to not notice you, and then come up from behind and start attacking the large hole. So that way the enemies don't see you until you actually start hitting the large hole, and then just kill that thing by just circling around it and just using the rapier, and that way the enemies will start coming after you once you start attacking, so you have time to take out the large hole relatively quickly, as long as you're just moving around. And that same thing with Fencer. Usually I'll do the same thing. I'll just come from behind and start attacking the large hole with 2 hammers, and just keep circling around the bottom of the large hole until it's destroyed. And then you can go ahead and start attacking the shield screens for the team. Because if you just if you don't attack the large hole quickly, then the bosses will spawn. So if you can do it pretty quickly, then you won't have any bosses to deal with at all, which is ideal. But and then after that, of course, like I said, just go to the shields and try and get that down as fast as you can, so that your team can start sniping things. But of course, if you have a wing diver and a fencer, then you can of course just have the fencer go to the back, or the wing diver, either way, and start attacking the hole. And then once the enemies start coming after them, then the other person could go down there and just kill the shield screens pretty quickly, and then help out with the large hole. But like I said, that's pretty simple with those teams. But with the Ranger, it's very, very difficult. But this is how we did it. So let's go ahead and get started in the video. All right, mission failed. We saw that a lot this time. But what we chose to take was, we took 2 stringers and 2 AF-100s. The first thing we did was we had one person grab all the NPCs. There's 3 groups of NPCs back here. So he grabs them all, that way that he can heal them, and I don't have to worry about them falling over the cliff as I go near the edge. And I can tell him as far as when we can attack. So he's just going to take them over here to the left side. And then he's going to have them make sure that they walk, far back up against the cliff a little bit, so that when he walks forward to snipe, they won't, like I said, jump off the cliff. So we tried different ways of how we started this. We tried having one person up on top and just sniping the hole until it was dead, and the other person up front defending. We tried a person up front with NPCs having a healing bomb, and just all those tactics did not work very well at all. So the best thing we've had so far success was just taking the NPCs, one person taking the NPCs and us fighting together and defending in between each time. Unfortunately, it takes 4 stringer shots to take one of these holes down on Inferno, so we have to do this each hole twice. So we just count down and attack the hole at the same time with the stringer, and then we back up and then defend. The reason we're attacking the wasp hole first, because that is definitely the worst. They can hit you for up to or over 1,000 if they hit very close to you. So, but anyway, one thing we've learned actually through just playing this mission for, I think it was 5 hours or something to do this, was when you're sniping with someone online, you need to have the host. Sometimes what the other person sees on the screen is not accurate, whereas the host, what they see, is usually accurate. So the way we had to snipe the holes at the same time was, what I would do is I would say when I'm ready, I'm aiming at the hole, I'll say I'm ready, and then he'll say he's ready, and then I'll wait for him to shoot on my screen. So when I see him shoot, then I take my shot. And when we did it that way, it always registered that both shots hit. Whereas before, what we were doing is we were counting down, and he would delay a second or two, or I would delay a second or two for his lag. But it's just a lot easier for the host to watch for the shot be taken by him, and then you take your shot, and it worked every time. So, but anyway, the reason we're taking the wasp bowels, like I said, is the worst one, and we're using the NPCs to help us out. And I'm trying to let him have the health. If ever both of our health is low and there's just 1 health, I try and let him have the health pack, because it's a lot more valuable for him to get his NPCs healed up. So, also one thing that was important was you had to keep an eye on those 3 bosses back there, because when you're sniping the holes, you want to make sure that there's no bosses that are near the hole. so that you don't pull a boss when you're doing these nests. So that is very important. You have to have the person that's up front watching for that, and always play more safe, of course, than it just, even if you think that they're not that near, even if they're a little bit near, it's better to do that. One thing also you might notice I'm doing is I'm jumping straight up a lot, jumping straight up and down a lot. I saw someone online doing this, and I think it was a video of a Japanese player with low health playing one mission, and they were doing that a lot, and I was thinking, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense, because the wasps will shoot at your feet, and also the ants sometimes will shoot more towards your feet. And by jumping straight up and down, I noticed that I was getting hit a lot less by the wasps, and it does help out when you are dealing with wasps. So just something that you can maybe... Also drones, it works good on drones as well, because drones tend to hit on an angle down towards your feet, and when you're jumping you can miss a lot of shots sometimes. So just something to think about. So like I said, once we got it down to 4 shots every time with that sniping technique, it was a lot easier, because having an extra phase was pretty bad, because we need these NPCs to stay alive, because we're trying to use them later. So we're just having them help us with the first 2 waves of the wasp, because we need that help. If we tried without it, it's just too much for Ranger to handle. So so I think we just killed the second wasp hole. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have him go up above us, and he's going to place the NPCs back there by a house. There's a house up top the hill, and what he can do is he's going to take them up there, and he's going to shoot the leader so that they stay there, and he's going to place them behind the house, and then he's going to place the second group up a little bit further away from the house, so that there's kind of like 2 tiers of the enemies being distracted. So the enemies will come up and attack the first group, and then they'll kill them, and then they'll go up further to the house and attack them. And the reason we're putting them by the house is because it's harder for them to get hit back there by the house. And you'll have a chance to see where the house is at when I go up further there. But now our next priority is going to be the spider hole. So once again, we're going to it's a lot easier now that we don't have any guys. We can just he doesn't have to worry about them jumping off. But it's a good thing that those shields move around, actually, because I don't know how we would do this without the shields moving around. We did play this on hardest and beat it by going down there with fusion blasters, but that was hardest. We could not do it on Inferno. At least with low health we couldn't. So once again, we're just shooting the hole together and then backing up. It's better to back up decently far, as far as you can, when you snipe these, to pull them back, because whenever the enemies are moving towards you up a cliff, it's a lot easier to defend, it seems like, rather than the opposite where they're coming down the cliff. You would think it would be easier to see them as they're coming down, but there's a lot more things that are blocked when you're going up. Also, there is some kind of luck factor involved a little bit as far as what drops. We had a few runs where there was just no health dropping at all, and it was pretty bad. But for the most part, there was a decent amount of health drops. And then the boss, as far as there's always going to be 3 back there, so we weren't trying to rush this anytime, because they keep coming out until there's 3. And it's a good thing there isn't an unlimited number that can come out, because that'd be pretty rough. But with the stringer, you can stun the enemies pretty good, and it's pretty quick to take them out, actually. I think it was 4 stringer shots to kill the king spider and the queen ant, and then I think it was 6 shots to kill the queen wasp. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that was what it was when we were doing it. Also, we're knocking down some trees at the beginning as well, because that does kind of mess you up sometimes, because the enemies can see you but you can't really see them. And then if the trees get knocked down in front of your view, it can be rough too sometimes, because they'll stay there for a while and then you can't see anything and you're getting hit. But yeah, now there's a gray ant hole left, and then the spider hole left, and then a gray, and then a red. There's quite a few holes here on this map, so But like I was saying in the earlier, it'd be easy for a wing diver just to fly over the top and then land behind the large hole and start attacking it, and you could have that thing killed before anything spawns. And then the enemies will come towards you, but that big nest will block a lot of the enemies, so that you can just kind of circle around or stay up top or just move around while you're attacking, and it's not too bad. But this map feels small for some reason. I don't know. I think this mission, there's a few missions that use this map, but it does feel small comparatively, even though it's, I don't know, it's large, but I don't know, it feels like it's pretty small when you're trying to kite around enemies at the bottom there. And we always reload our stringers after we take our shot so that we can use it for the red ants sometimes, just to make it easier. See right there, actually I jumped straight up and the ant missed me. It shot right below me. So it works. It can work on ants too, but the timing's a lot more difficult to do it that way. But I've been trying to practice that more. It seems like it's pretty useful. When we were doing it earlier on hardest, what we'd do is one person would roll along the left side of the map, and then they would fall down next to the big hole, and they would take the fusion blaster and just kill the large hole before any bosses would spawn. And then we would just defend with the fusion blaster and the machine gun, I think it was. And then we would just try and approach the different nests with the fusion blaster and kill them quickly, and then go back and defend and so forth. But we had to alter that strategy for Inferno, of course, because I think spiders can pretty much one-shot you. Ants can one-shot you on Inferno with 5,000. So, and the wasps don't take much. Because when I was standing up top, trying to just snipe the hole until it was dead, I would just have 2 or 3 wasps start attacking me, and they would knock off half my health every time, and we would be struggling with the health items because we had less waves of enemies, because I was just killing them before they would spawn another wave. So once we kill these spiders, it makes it a lot easier, because that's the last spider hole right there. And after this, we're going to try and take out one more hole, which is a gray ant hole, and it's very difficult because it's right next to the queen, or the wasp, the large nest. So we have to just watch from up top and just look for a good opportunity and hope that there's not too many enemies that, or hope that the boss doesn't see us and pull one. But even if it does, as long as we see it early and we call it out, it's not too bad. But you have to be very, very ready, because the king spider, man, that thing shoots from so far away, and just walking into one strand of that web, man, it takes off a couple thousand. It's pretty rough, and if you move inside of it, you can really kill yourself. So I think that's the first and only death we have. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it was. We have some health here, so that's good that we can actually heal up pretty close to full. And he has a health up there that's, I think it's a large health that he can heal up with. Alright. So now we're going to finish off this spider hole, and then whenever we're sniping these nests, we have to always keep an eye on the bosses. I think we actually do pull a boss on one of these, but we're able to recover from it. But like I said, we were playing this just that one day when we recorded this for, I think it was 5 or 6 hours to finally get this. And then we came up with the strategy another day, so that was, I don't know how many hours it was earlier than that, but we tried a lot of different things with the Ranger, and this seemed like it was the best, because you really need 2 people to defend. When we only had one person defending, it was very, very difficult. So I think it's a lot easier when you have Ranger run with like 3 or 4 Rangers, because you can have more weapon options. But when you just have 2 Rangers, you're so limited to what you can take. It made it pretty rough for us to try and figure out what to do. So now we're going to go up a little bit higher this time to actually snipe the the next hole, so that way we can see better, and also we can see if a boss is coming. We can actually attack it from further away and have a better chance at killing it before it gets to us. So just gonna go up one more tier higher, and then it's a waiting game pretty much, just trying to figure out when the best time to shoot. And hopefully if you pull an enemy, just pull one, hopefully. I believe one time we actually timed it so that we hit the hole so that we would pull one, because we knew it was just one that was coming and we could kill it. Because all it's going to come now is the gray ants and red ants, so it's not too bad. And also with the stringer you can stun the queen wasp pretty well. One person, all you need is one person on the queen wasp, because one shot will stun her, and then once you reload you can take another shot and it'll keep stunned. Alright, so we shoot now because we see that just the queen is coming, I believe, yeah. So I'm just going to attack the queen. I mean, we're going to both attack the queen until the enemies get closer, but yeah, that thing goes down relatively quick. Looks like it was 6 shots, 3 from each of us, so it wasn't too bad. It's just when you have a few of them that come after you, it gets pretty rough. And man, they need to give Rangers some better weapons in EDF 5, because, I mean, I guess I don't necessarily want that, because I do like to having a challenging run. Like if you want to make the game difficult, you can just play Ranger only. But, I mean, it just takes so many shots to kill a red ant is pretty ridiculous. Whereas a wing diver can just, and it's dead. So I don't know, I kind of like it being difficult, but at the same time sometimes it feels unfair, especially when you have a silver spider coming after a ranger. Like you have to use almost your entire magazine of your AF-100 just to kill it. So we were trying to kind of rush it a little bit so that we could not have another boss spawn, but they spawned so fast it was kind of ridiculous. Because I think the king comes this time. And yeah, the king comes this time, so we're going to shoot it a couple times and try and kill it before it gets close. But we don't get a chance to kill it, actually. I think it actually is 6 shots then, too, with the king. But as you can see, I just barely get grazed by that king spider web, and I lost 1,400. So we're just backing up right now because we can't stay there because we need to defend here first. So we're able to get one more shot on the king with the stringer, and we are able to kill it, so it works out. And I almost died there, but he was able to recover, so that was good. So now there's just one boss there. Technically, there should only be one boss there. So when we go back, we see 3 of them again. So we're pretty upset that we were trying to just, you know, knock it down to 1 left only, but now we look at it and there's 3 again. I don't understand how there's 3. There should have been 2 maybe, if anything, but yeah, that was pretty garbage. But whatever. So now we're going to go up to the top and use our NPCs and their help. So by that house up there is where the NPCs are at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up top above that, further back behind that house, and we're going to snipe from up there and let the NPCs take the aggro of the enemies, the little enemies that come, so we can focus on the kings and the queen. So I don't know why I chose to go this side, but I was just trying to see if there's a better view up here. It took me a while to get up here. But there's an easier way to get up top on the left side where he's at. But yeah, you can just barely see the large nest from up here, so that's perfect. So what we're thinking of here is, what we can do is we can snipe the large hole, and we can kill the queens and kings that come towards us, and then once we do that, once we kill all 3, then one person can just focus on the large hole, while the other person can either defend or they can help with the large hole as well. So what we're trying to do is wait for an enemy to go right in front of the large nest so we can get a shot on the enemy and on the hole at the same time. Also, by the way, we actually did a test on Stringer, and apparently it doesn't seem like there's a limit to how many things the Stringer goes through, because we shot through, I think it was 7 tanks and 1 person, and it still hit all those with full health or full damage. So I haven't tested more than 8 things to go through, but On Crimson, if you load up Inferno with limits off and you shoot through, it seems like it goes through the entire group. So, and it is full damage too, so that's pretty good. But anyway, so kill the king, kill the queen, and the NPCs that come, or the NPCs are just taking the distraction of the enemies, so that's really helpful. So we were kind of surprised we didn't actually pull all three, but that was good. So now I'm just going to focus on the large hole the whole time, and he's going to focus on the queen. I might take a shot at the queen too, I think, but I'm just going to focus on a large hole, because once we get that down, it's pretty much mission is won. So, and that queen is not too good either. I think can hurt the NPCs again. Yeah, there's another boss that spawns. It seems relatively quickly that they spawn, so. But that's no big deal. We can easily stun the queen. That's probably the easiest one. I think it always spawns in that order. The queen wasp is always, I think, first. I don't remember honestly. It's been a while since I played it. Normally, usually I wasn't paying attention this whole time because we just figured there's always gonna be 3 of them out there. So yeah, so we got the hull down. We got now we're just gonna grab the NPCs and finish up the mission. So it's pretty fun to try and finally get this. It was. I think it's definitely possible to do this mission with lower than 5,000, but I don't know if I would want to try and do it honestly. I kind of like doing challenges, but at the same time I don't like to do challenges where you can possibly do it, but it would take like hundreds and hundreds of tries. Although to be fair, this one took a lot of tries, so I don't know. I think it's definitely still challenging, but it's definitely doable. Whereas 2,000 health or something would take a lot of tries, and I'd rather do more missions than to just focus on one mission over and over again until I finally get it. So even this is kind of funny. It's scary for a ranger. Like it's just one mess, but I mean he just has no mobility. It's just funny. But it's not. We're not gonna die, of course. It's just gotta kill this last nest. And then of course these shield screens just. I don't know. I guess they made the shield screens based on the other classes, but these things just mock the ranger. Look at it. It's just laughing at you as it runs away. And it's like, no, you can't catch it as a ranger. But at least you have the stringer you can roll in there and just kill it fast. But this one just starts running away from us. And we just have to try and chase it down. But yeah, as of December 7th, we should be able to maybe be better at this since we can sprint. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, finished the mission, and thanks for watching, and thanks to Robert again for the help. See you next time.